2026 is the year of foundations. We have just completed July, and it seems like I have been reviewing foundations more than I have in any other year. I want to do a roundup video. All the best foundations of 2026 so far, and also some of the worst. So just for reference, I am an oily skin type. I have a golden olive undertone. I'm a medium skin tone, so kind of in the middle of the spectrum. And so I'm going to be going over all the ones that worked for me and my skin type, and also mentioning some of the ones for other skin types. So if you are here for this, be sure to subscribe, because I did a lot of research going into this video. I watched all of my previous reviews of all of these foundations. I compiled notes. I have them all in front of me. And of course, if you want to know more about a particular product, please go ahead and watch those individual videos. All right, a lot of talking. Let's get into it. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. Let's hit it. Best foundations of 2026 so far, and some of the worst. All right, so the first foundation, or rather skin tint, that I want to mention is this new Versed skin tint. This one was a favorite discovery of mine for the year so far. Such an amazing, unique product that I feel a lot of people have not heard of. In fact, I myself have recently, possibly this year or later in 2025, just started receiving PR from Versed. I have never really heard about this brand before. I've never really seen it. I have not seen it online. But after doing a little bit of research on this skin tint, which by the way has mineral SPF 40, so perfect for the summertime, for this time of the year, I was really pleasantly surprised. Not only is this suitable for the most sensitive skin types with rosacea, and they even have a plaque from the Rosacea Society saying that this is accredited and they swear by this. Basically, they have their seal of approval. Also, this is only $20. It has incredible coverage, medium, but can be built up to rather full. It feels incredibly lightweight on the skin. And I have a perfect shade, 60, which is an olive undertone. And when I tell you this matches me perfectly, like spot on, it gets rid of any of my redness or irritation or dark spots, but balances the skin in the most beautiful way. Also, this has a slight dewy finish, but it wears so well. I actually rewatched my video of this review, and I just remember feeling so excited that I discovered this for myself and for my channel and for my viewers. So this is definitely a favorite of mine. $20 is awesome. Next on the list of the best foundations 2026 so far goes to, in no particular order, to the MPH Le Skin Serum Foundation by celebrity makeup artist Mary Phillips. This is a $49 product. It is formulated with niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, which is probably why my oily AF acne-prone skin loves this. For some reason, people with my skin type tend to gravitate towards these ingredients. It wears extremely well, and it just looks really good. It mixes well with our oils. So this one also had an incredibly amazing wear test. It has really great longevity, staying power. Again, the shade medium 130 another olive undertone, is perfect for my natural skin tone. Right now, it is a little bit light for me, even though I have not gotten any sun, but I guess just being outside in the summertime, I'm a couple of shades darker than my natural skin tone. So I need to get my hands on another shade. But this is incredible. This wears so well. You don't really need any helper products like setting sprays or any of those hydrophobic powders. This you can just use with a translucent setting powder or a light veil, a light dusting of a powder, and it's good to go. It will last you a long time. Another thing that really impressed me with this one is the shade range. There are 35 shades, which I think is really impressive for a new brand, because I just reviewed another foundation by a heritage brand, a very well-known brand with a big budget, and they only had 24 shades. So kudos to MPH and Mary Phillips on this one. Really, really love. The next foundation on my list goes to the one and only Rare Beauty True to Myself foundation. This one I like for, well, one, the price. $38 I think is really reasonable in 2026. There are also tons of shades. This one has 48 shades actually. And the best part is that this one is actually said to be best for oily, acne-prone skin. Also, combo and normal can wear it as well, but specifically the oilier skin types, this is for us. This has medium coverage. It is long-wearing, non-comedogenic, no fragrance, no essential oils, and basically all the ingredients are low risk. Another thing I like is the cool packaging. Even though it's plastic and it feels a little bit cheapy and a little bit light in the hand, it has a control pump, which means that it disperses a controlled amount of product. Also, it has a lock on the back, so you don't accidentally lightly press this control pump, which I think is really cool. Just a really good innovation. I can't believe that no one's done this before. Really, really like this one. Great wear test. Supposed to be self-setting and self-priming. I did try it without primer and with. I still prefer it with a primer, but if you have really smooth skin, let's say you're an oily skin type with a smooth skin surface, like you don't get breakouts, then this might be self-priming for you. Loved this one. My shade in this one is shade 18, possibly 19. They're not perfect shades. Perhaps I need a shade 21, which is a warm olive. But again, I love the fact that there are some olive options for us, for the saturated olives, for the muted olives, for the warm, for the neutral olives. I like that. And I appreciate that brands are starting to see us. This is great. So with all this positivity, I feel like I might need to, well, I don't know, talk about some foundations that didn't work for me. I'll touch on it briefly. Sadly and unfortunately, the reformulated, or shall I say, the new double wear foundation from Estee Lauder absolutely did not work for me. This was a disaster to say the least. Not only is this $52, a lot of people are pissed that Estee Lauder would reformulate this one, or rather create a whole new product under the same name and still call it double wear foundation. Yes, technically it's supposed to do the same thing, but I feel like they perform very, very differently. I personally was not a huge fan of the original, but I will say that it was far better than this new one. This new one is extremely, extremely clingy. So if you have any sort of texture, if you have acne scars or any open pores / scars, this will absolutely settle into those little crevices, making them appear worse, making them look magnified, and just making you look really rough. In my notes here, I said that this is not texture friendly. It is aging, which is no bueno. We don't want aging. No. And it looks kind of gritty, like too makeup-y on the skin. I think in my initial review of this foundation, I said if you were sharpening your image in Photoshop or in Facetune or whatever app, if you turn on the sharpness all the way, it just becomes really noisy and really gritty and just really unrealistic. This is kind of how this foundation looks like in real life. It's just so bad. It's so tragic. I did not love that one. I don't know who does. If you are one of those people, I want to hear from you. What do you do to make it work? Because I can't seem to think of a skin type that this would work on, sadly. Moving on to, let's do a positive. Okay, another foundation I really enjoyed this year. And you know what? This one is a contender for the top spot. It is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Balancing and Perfecting Foundation. This one in the glass jar with the Cool Lips logo, which has always been Makeup Forever's logo. I really, really love this one. Not only is the packaging super high-end and feels special, but the product itself is so high-performing. This is truly a smoothing and blurring type of foundation that you will love if you are an oily skin type like me, especially if you have any sort of acne scars. Like I said, this will smooth you out, I promise you. All right, let's go to my notes. This is $49, totally worth the price to me. Excellent wear, smoothing, reliable, lots of shades. By the way, I swatched all the shades on my YouTube shorts, so in case you need to find a shade match, you can watch that video. Also, this is formulated with niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, just like the MPH-less skin foundation. So this is what I'm noticing. I'm noticing that the oily skin-friendly foundations typically have those ingredients. I love this one. My shade in this one is 226N Cedar. This was my closest shade a couple of months ago when it wasn't summertime yet. So probably now I am a 240N. And I noticed that they do have some olive shades, but their neutrals seem to fit a little bit better because their olives are almost too saturated, whereas their neutrals are a little bit more muted. So keep that in mind. All right, another foundation that I didn't love this year in 2026. I'm just gonna go back and forth, flip back and forth. You may have probably already guessed, it is sadly the new Vanngo Serum Foundation. This one I just recently reviewed. It is $46. Very, very full coverage. Doesn't say which skin type it is for, but it feels very emollient on the skin. So when I went into the description, I was thinking, okay, perhaps this is for the normal skin types. But because the name of this foundation is Red Carpet Skin Serum Foundation, I really thought that it would be a little bit more inclusive in terms of skin type. After conducting the wear test, I realized that this is definitely not for me. It felt very much like an oil slick sitting on top of my skin, like any sort of scratch to the face would just remove it. That's how much it was sitting rather than blending with my skin. Also, another thing that I noticed was this was extremely difficult to remove. Like, it took so much more than just a double cleanse. It took an oily balm and then a regular cleanser and then micellar water and then a toner, and it still managed to break me out. This was actually the biggest deal breaker for me. Do you see this pimple on my forehead? I am going to pop up a picture and show you what it looked like a couple of days ago while I was sitting at jury duty. Yes, that's right, jury duty. And I was so unhappy with my appearance because this animal was definitely caused by this foundation. I typically never break out on my forehead. This is like my smooth surface that is almost flawless most of the time. When I do break out, it is because I typically try something new. That week, it was this foundation. I didn't try anything new besides this one. And because it was so hard to remove, because it was so emollient, I have a feeling, I'm almost 99% sure it was this that caused the breakout. I even noticed some little smaller tiny pimples the very next day when I was conducting the wear test. So that one was just not for me. I think though, this would probably work really well if you are a dry skin type. Even if you are a mature skin type, this would probably work well because it is very hydrating. It feels extremely slippery on the skin when you first apply it on. You don't need a lot of product. A little bit goes a long way. But sadly, it just wasn't for me. Not to say that it is a bad product. I can't say that. I won't say that. But again, there's a person, there is a skin type that it is for. And unfortunately, I'm not that person. Moving on, back to the good. Okay, the foundation that I am wearing on my skin right now is the one that I've been reaching for the most lately. It is the easiest to use. It gives you a flawless face base so quickly within like a minute. And I am talking about the new Lancome Teint Idole foundation stick. This one right here. I don't love this packaging. The packaging is flimsy. It feels cheapy, but the product itself is really, really great. $46. You also don't get a lot of product, unfortunately, and I've already used it up at least 4 or 5 times. I've used it since my review, and I'm noticing that it is shrinking, sadly. But back to the positive. What I love about this one is, first of all, I feel like Lancome kind of redeemed themselves. They haven't really produced or come out with anything new, cool, or innovative in the makeup category in quite a while, in years. And so this to me was their comeback. I really love the formula. Again, very emollient, very slippery. However, it is long lasting. It is actually smoothing on the skin. This will work if you have acne. This will work if you have bumps, if you have any texture. This wears so well. And again, it is just so easy to use. It's so quick to spread across your skin surface. I'm a big fan of this one. Medium coverage, but can be amped up to full. Can also be used as a concealer, as a bronzer, depending on the colors that you choose. Apparently, this also has some blushes, but I didn't check. I should have probably checked, but that would really be a great idea. If they have some blushes in this formula, imagine the possibilities. You can literally do your whole entire face with just a couple of these sticks. But again, $46, so kind of pricey, but worth it. Worth it in my opinion because it does what it's supposed to and it looks and wears so great. Last final foundation product that I want to mention that sadly belongs in the worst for me category is the new L'Oreal cushion. I actually got rid of it. I didn't love it, but I will pop it up right here so you could have a reference of what it looks like. This is a $20 product, and let me tell you, it looks really good at first. So it is very deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. It applies very well. It has some really nice undertones, and for 20 bucks, all of this sounds really promising. However, unfortunately, it's just not a reliable formula. I did do a wear test on a day where it was very humid. It was raining, and then it wasn't raining, and it was still very humid, and then it started raining again. So my face and the environment that I was in basically took me through the ringer, you know? And you could tell at the end of the day, you could really tell. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't keep it because in my mind I thought, why would I keep a foundation that is unreliable when I have others that are much more reliable? Say the MPH that you could wear in any condition, okay? Like the Makeup Forever that is so incredibly long wearing, you know? So that was kind of my experience with that. If you have dry skin, again, it will probably work for you, but if you are specifically looking for something that will work for an oily skin type, avoid those 3 that I mentioned. They will not work for you because they did not work for me. And I know because I did my testing, okay? So on that note, I'm very happy to have given you guys these cliff notes. I'm also very happy that I can now reference back to this video when it's the end of the year and I can compile all of my knowledge together and produce an even bigger video with all the best foundations of 2026. Because I have a really strong feeling that we're not done and there will be more. So on that, I am going to thank you for your participation. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your commentary. Definitely let me know your thoughts below. Is there anything that I've missed? Is there anything that perhaps you want to see me go into further? Let me know. Sound off below. And with that, I will leave you. I'm going to zoom on out. Peace out. I'm out. I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Mwah. Bye.